So here we begin with a super quick revision video for one of the most important topic in the costing, and that is overhead, right? We have already done two jumbos, material and labor. We have done cost sheet, and today we are doing overhead. So without discussing much detail, all playlists are available. Regular batch videos are there in the app. Sarthi, that is our fast track batch wherein concept and intensive practice is done in the class, is also there. And these super quick revision videos are for you to repeat again and again the concept. Okay, right. Now what is the mindset, what all we should know when it comes to overhead chapter? Kya kya prepare karna hai? So now overhead, you know, all the indirect material, indirect wages, indirect expenses goes into overhead. Overhead, you should know how to segregate the overhead into fixed overhead kya hai, which is constant in total. Variable overhead, which is constant per unit. And semi-variable overhead is which is not constant in total, and per unit is also not same. So semi-variable overhead is having both the element for the variable overhead and for the fixed overhead. So to segregate semi-variable overhead, 4 methods which are already covered, and a separate video is made for that. But once again, very important method to segregate semi-variable overhead, which we use in overhead chapter, we use in operating costing, we use it in budgeting and all the other chapters, is high-low point method. Change in cost is only because of the variable element. Correct or not? Because fixed cost to koi bhi level pe constant hai. Whether you work at 50% or you work at 80%, your fixed cost is constant. Change in the cost divided by change in units into 100 will give you the variable cost per unit in the semi-variable overhead. Clear to all of you, right? So now in this chapter, we have first of all four different methods of allocation and all. Then we have the machine hour rate. Then we have how to treat under over absorption. I'll tell you, dear students, under over absorption method problems are asked for 5 marks repeatedly in question number 1 and other question, and it's like super scoring. I always say this, when you feel something was tough in exam, इस बार का costing का paper बहुत tough था या lengthy था, so something is there which will definitely help you to get 50 to 80 to exemption also. That mindset, that confidence, that positivity should be there. Okay, right. Now let us see. You know what? Overhead is expense. So can we first allocate the expense? What is allocation? Now suppose, look at the screen. This is already drawn. So I'm explaining, these are all Sarthi batch material where I make you write. Right now, if you feel this is good, take a screenshot. I'll share the booster notes also after this. Uska bhi screenshot aap le sakte hain. Chalo. Ye dekho. I have 3 production department which are producing different products. P1 product, P2, P3. And I have service department. Oh. One second. I have 3 service department. Canteen, which is giving service to all, HR department and space. This is just an example. Now I am here. What is allocation, dear students? Look at the screen and tell me, is it clear what is allocation? Yera. Allocation is expenditure which is directly to be allocated to that department. ये expense तो इसका है. For example, we are getting groceries. वो तो canteen का खर्चा है. We are recruiting workers. That is HR's expense. We are getting material. That is P1, P2, P3. Specific material. कुछ specific material. So allocation means directly allocating the expense to that department. Next is apportionment. Can we have some common expense and apportion it on basis, ma'am, control C, control V, departmental accounts? अकाउंट्स में करते हैं ना वैसे ही. For example, if I am paying salary to supervisor, how many hours he is working can I allocate? I am paying AMC for plant and machinery. So plant and machinery, how much value is used in each department? According to that, I have paid one-time insurance premium for all the plant and machinery. मैंने सब plant and machinery का annual insurance लिया है. So can I allocate it to P1, P2, P3 based on the value of the plant and machinery? Yeah. For example, rent of the factory is 8 lakhs. How much square feet is used by P1 department, P2? So apportionment of expenses, charging the common expense to all the department on some basis. What will be that basis? We will see. Next is reapportionment. ये important है. Allocation and apportionment, of course you should know, but they are asked as theory question. Apply karte time, they are already allocating and apportioning, and if you make a total, you got, okay, finally P1 का खर्चा है 6 lakh, P2 का 1 lakh, 5 lakh, 2 lakh, 1 lakh और ये तो nil है. Now, who will give you the production? P1, P2, P3, production department. Service expense needs to be absorbed by production department. Do you digest this? Service department के expense production department को आपको allocate करना पड़ेगा. I mean reapportion करना पड़ेगा. On what basis? Decide. For example, canteen expense are 2 lakh. Can we apportion to P1, P2, P3 based on number of workers which are working in P1, P2? तो वही खाना खाते होंगे, चाय पीते होंगे कैंटीन में. So like this, allocation is put the direct expense to direct department. Apportion is put common expense to department in the given ratio. Reapportion is service expense charged to production. So that, ma'am, why we are doing reapportionment? I am saying production department का खर्चा इतना है, but service department expense also I should add. No, when I'm saying total cost of the production department is 5 rupees plus this production department has used 1 lakh, service department, so iska cost is 6. I have to charge the customer 6 rupees. Are you all with me? So service department expense can be charged to the production department by 4 methods. First method is direct method. Direct method, whatever ratio they give, service department, you apportion your expense in the ratio of 8:1. So directly they diya. Next is step down method. Step down method is, it looks like this. So this is S1, this is S2, this is P1, this is, so one service department is giving service to another. S1 का expenditure तीनों को डालो, फिर S2's own expenditure, and S2 is getting services from S1, but it is not giving back. One service department is receiving service from another department, but it is not giving back. Then that is S2. S1 and S2. S1 and S2. So S2 will be allocated SA. And now we got P1 and P2 divided by machine hours to get the machine hour rate, labor hour rate, या फिर number of units. Denominator depends. If it is a machine oriented production department, machine hour से divide करो. Labor oriented है, labor hour से, या फिर number of units से divide कर दो. Are you all with me? So like this, step down method is used when one service department is giving service to another, but it's not taking back. And then you have simultaneous equation, trial and error method, repeated distribution method. All these 3 methods will give same answer, but these are used when one service department is giving service to the production department and other service department, and it is receiving also from other service department. समझ में आ रहा है? S1 is giving, it's like this. S1, S2, P1, P2, P3. अभी S1 इज गिविंग 10% यहाँ पे, 10% यहाँ पे, 40% यहाँ, 40. अब ये हो गया S1. S2 is giving service 20 here, S2, and 30 here, 20 here, and 30. Are you getting? S1 is giving service 10% to S2. तो S2 is saying my own expenditure plus S1 का 10% भी तो मेरा खर्चा है ना, वो मिला के I'll allocate. S2 is saying my own expenditure plus जो S1 से आया, all that I'll allocate to S1. So for this we will use simultaneous equation method, trial error method, repeated. Keep patience. It takes lot of efforts to make revision video like this. It is easier to teach overhead in regular 5 classes. आज बस डायरेक्ट मेथड समझाया, उसके प्रॉब्लम कर रहे हैं और मैं बैठी हूँ, लिख लिया, आगे करें, it's easy. But look at the energy level, dear students. So I hope you keep some worth of it. Keep patience, and if you really feel all gist is given best to you, do share this video. Help me in my mission to spread this conceptual knowledge across India so that there is no fear in final exam. कोई शॉर्टकट नहीं है, ये बार बार पढ़ना है. और कुछ लोग पूछ लेते हैं, मैम मेथड्स के आगे से कराओ, मैम वी विल डू ओनली मशीन आर रेट एंड वो अंडर ओवर एब्जॉर्प्शन, वो क्योंकि बड़ा इजी है. ये एग्जाम में आते हैं मेथड्स, तो आपको करना है. चलें, कैसे करेंगे? साइमल्टेनियस इक्वेशन मेथड. P department is the service department whose own expenditure is 4,000 plus Q से Q का 20% also P is receiving. Same way, Q's own expenditure is 2,600 plus 10% of P also it has to bear as expenditure, and then this whole Q is allocated to main production department. So equation 1 is P is equal to 4,000 plus 0.2 Q भी किया है. Now substitute or cross multiply and do as you wish. Here I am substituting, so you will get P and Q. Once you get P and Q, you can apportion. See, P is saying my own expenditure is 4,000, but Q का भी तो 20% मुझे लग रहा है ना. So finally, P is saying that my total expenditure is 4,612. ये रहा. Q is saying my own expenditure is 2,000, but मुझे P का भी तो लेना है ना, 10%. So 461 total का 10%. So my expenditure. Once P and Q, are you getting how to solve simultaneous equation? P and Q का total expenditure you got. Now can you allocate? P, your expenditure is 4,000 plus Q का मिला के 4,612. You apportion in the ratio of 30, 40, 20, 10. Q, your expenditure is 3,061. You allocate 10%, 20%, 50% and 20%. तो ये दोनों nil हो गए. Now total overhead you can divide by number of units, machine hours and all to get the overhead recovery rate. Nice. Now let us see, instead of simultaneous equation, they'll specify the method. Use repeated distribution. Repeat means 4,000 का 10% इसको दे दो. Now 3,000, 3,000 का 20%, 600. 4,000 तो you have already given. 600 का 10% इसको दे दो. अब 60 का 20%. Like this, keep on doing till it becomes nil. So this is repeated distribution method. And same is the trial and error method. One simple distinguish between the repeated distribution and trial and error method is, in repeated distribution we repeat this for all. Can you see? P का 4,000 का 10% went here, 20% here, 40% here. Ab iska, so you know they are repeatedly distributing to all the departments. Trial and error says that just do it only for P and Q. बहुत हो गया, पहले आप मुझे ओरली बोलो मेथड समझ में आए या नहीं? मैम कौन सा मेथड कब यूज करना है? इट विल बी गिवन टू यू इन द प्रॉब्लम. Yes, of course it will be given to you. So direct method, if they say step down method, when one service department is giving to another but not taking back, and simultaneous equation method, if they say one service department is giving and receiving, and a repeated distribution to all, and which one I said, trial and error. Huh? So ye methods hain aapke. Let us go to the next part of this, dear students. Trial and error is clear to all of you? Yeah. Now, answer will be same, dear students, by the last three methods. Now, in this chapter, there is a concept, and many times they ask you very simple machine-related expense. So, some machine-related expense are fixed, like depreciation, salary, and all. And machine-related power and diesel and some expenses are variable. So, you know, sometimes they are segregating standing expense and variable. I say put it all together. Don't worry. Because if you get confused, no, unnecessarily you will be losing over there. So better write it all together. Now, what do you mean by the concept of the machine hour rate? Okay. So machine related expense. Huh? Like depreciation. Power here they have given together. Sometimes they use these many units are required to make one unit, and one unit ka rate itna hai. So like this, you will be able to calculate their wages, helpers wages, DA, basic plus DA का leave salary भी उनको deduct हो रहा है, production bonus भी मिल रहा है, हाँ? So total wages they have been paid. So total machine related expense is this. Machine is working at 75% capacity. Generally it works for 200 hours, but 150 hours. So what is the effective machine hour rate? Are you getting? Yeah. Now here very important point, dear students. Usually asked to me by students is, मैम ये कब 12 महीने का बनाना है, कब 1 महीने का बनना है, समझ में ही नहीं आता. So then the answer for this is look at the denominator. Are they giving you machine hours for 4 weeks? Make it for a month. Are they giving you machine hours annual? Then all the expense also you take it annual. Some expense if they give monthly, multiply by 12. So denominator, hours, have they given you the effective hours weekly? Then make numerator weekly. Monthly, monthly. Yearly, yearly. It's a very common thing, but very, very important. Okay, right. Next is like this only I've given depreciation power. 1 hour requires 16 units. And each unit is paid at 3 per unit. Yeah. So 16 units into 3 per units. So 16 into 3. 48 rupees you are paying for 1 hour. So for 2200 hours, how much? And you know, so many times in these kind of the problems, they say कि setup के वक्त power is not required. So though your effective hours are 2592, yes, but no power is required in setup and no power is required in repairing. तो power कितने घंटे यूज समझ में आ रहा है? जब मशीन सेटअप है ना तो करंट बंद है, पावर नहीं लग रहा है, तो पावर का एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं होगा. When the machine has gone into repairing, that time also expenditure is not there. So like this, this is like effective hours. Though we have operated the machine for 2592 hours, but power is required only for 2200 hours. Now overhead rate is if setup time is 92 hours. Repairing का time 300 घंटे है, वो तो unproductive है, क्योंकि when the machine is getting repairing, you can't produce anything. Yeah. But when you are doing setup, if setup time is unproductive, minus that also. Should I repeat this point? Yeah. 2592 are your effective hours. तो मैम total cost by effective hours करके खत्म करो. But in effective hours, 300 hours are the repairing ka time, which is unproductive. So what is the productive time? 2292. सेटअप टाइम प्रोडक्टिव है, इसलिए 2292. बट अगर सेटअप का टाइम भी अनप्रोडक्टिव है, this they will say in exam whether setup time is productive or not. If not, calculate to दो hourly rate. तो सेटअप का टाइम भी अनप्रोडक्टिव है, तो फिर 2002. डन. Basic wages, power consumed. So like this, you have to calculate machine hour. We have done lot of good problems for the machine hour. Now overhead recovery rate, I'll teach you with the concept first from booster. Okay, first understand what is, okay, before we go to the last but very important concept, these are the handwritten booster notes now converted here for all of you. Look at this. Steps for apportionment, identify the overhead, segregate into fixed variables. Sometimes they'll ask you to segregate into factory and admin and selling, which we have already covered in cost sheet. कैसे करना है हमने आपको सिखा दिया है, ठीक है. चलो अब allocate direct overhead to specific department. Apportion common overhead to all the departments on the basis which I have to show you now. I'm just doing a revision of what I have done. Last, I'll go to supplementary overhead rate. Reapportion the service department total cost to production using any of the four methods. Yes, service department expenses you apportion to production department based on any method. Service department cost, yeah, very important, so that I should not miss out. That's why I've written it. See, when you apportion the expense, no, production department, you are taking only overhead because we are in overhead chapter. But service department, direct material, direct labor, overhead, everything is to be reapportioned. So for service department, in case in exam, if they give you wages or material, everything you take in the total. Service department S1, S2, direct material 10 rupees, labor 2 rupees, overhead 8 rupees, 20 rupees you will reapportion. Is this clear to all of you? For service department, yes, right? Direct material, direct labor, all should be added, okay, to the total cost before reapportionment. Now, when service department is giving service only to production department, follow direct method. When service department is giving service to production department and other service department, but not taking back, then step down method. When one service department is giving service to production and other service department and taking back also, then simultaneous equation, repeated distribution, trial and error method. If nothing is mentioned, then while preparing the cost sheet, yeah, this is a point from cost sheet, but ये बहुत पूछते हैं. Once you get the overhead rate and if they ask you to make cost sheet, the same point is there in overhead. The same point is there in that job batch costing. That if nothing is given and if they ask you to prepare cost sheet and they give you direct material, direct labor, factory overhead is absorbed as a percentage of direct labor. Administrative overhead is absorbed as a percentage of factory cost. And selling overhead is taken per unit. Is this clear to all of you? Once you get the total overhead, allocation, apportion, reapportion, yes, now you have got the total overhead of production department divided by either labor hours, if it is labor intensive, machine hours, they'll give the denominator, or number of units to get the overhead recovery rate. Single overhead recovery rate is total overhead divided by this. Multiple overhead recoveries, one department is based machine hours, another is labor hours or SSF, right? Okay, right. While calculating machine hour rate, maintenance time is always unproductive. हाँ, जब रिपेयरिंग हो रहा है, मेंटेनेंस हो रहा है, वो तो अनप्रोडक्टिव है. सेटअप टाइम मे बी प्रोडक्टिव और अनप्रोडक्टिव. इट इज अनप्रोडक्टिव तो उसको भी माइनस कर दो. Then calculate machine hours by the effective hours. And if it is productive, keep. If nothing is given, calculate machine hour rate with double column. सेटअप टाइम को प्रोडक्टिव और अनप्रोडक्टिव लेके दो मशीन आर रेट कैलकुलेट कर लो. ठीक है. टोटल मशीन एक्सपेंस. While calculating machine hour rate, if hours are given for month, take the numerator total cost for month. If hours are given for year, take the numerator for year. Are you all getting what I'm saying? Now, apportionment के लिए what is the common thing? So rent and all on the basis of the floor space, light points, how many are there, depreciation insurance of asset based on the value of the asset, power of the machine based on horsepower, indirect wages based on direct wages, supervisor salary based on time spent or number of employees he has to supervise in each department. Material handling basis based on the material consumed by each department. Material handling expenses you have to charge like carriage, inward and all. Purchase department expense based on the number of purchase order of each department. Miscellaneous production expenses, direct wages. General administrative expenses as a percentage of the works cost. Yeah, factory overhead as a percentage of wages. Personal department expense apportioned to all the department based on number of employees. Credit department means datas जो manage करते हैं. तो how many datas or sales? Each department has done how much sales? Each production. हर एक जो product है उसका credit sales कितना है? उसके हिसाब से you will apportion the credit department. Outward carriage, volume of units sold, weight, distance, etc. Advertisement. Advertisement expense you have paid for company as a whole. Then what is the turnover of P1 product, P2 product, P3? उस हिसाब से charge करो. Salesman salary, time devoted. Sales commission based on the commission is based on sales. So how much is the sales of A department? 18 lakh, B का 12 lakh, C का 6 lakh. इस ratio में कर लो. Reapportion the service department expense to the production department. How? Cost of the service department. Okay. Maintenance and repair shop and tool room and on the basis of direct labor hours, machine hours, wages. They'll give you canteen and all employee related expense based on number of workers. Timekeeping, number of the cards punched or number of employees or smart card issued and all. Computer section, how many computer hours are there? Service department अगर computer से का काम पूरा करके दे रहे हैं तो कहाँ कितना काम कर रहे हैं? Power according to the floor or right points and according to the horsepower. Stores department according to the material you generally according to the material issued or used by each department. Transport department, how much tons material is called by each department. Fire protection, capital value of machinery in each department. Inspection according. Ma'am, this is looking like cost drivers जो हम absorption costing में use करते हैं, तो बिल्कुल सही है. Yes, right. Now going to this last part. ये तो non integrated शुरू हो गया, तो अब इसको खत्म. चलो, अंडर ओवर एब्जॉर्प्शन का ट्रीटमेंट. अब ये अंडर ओवर एब्जॉर्प्शन क्या है? 99% दे आस्क यू अंडर ओवर एब्जॉर्प्शन एंड वी हैव डन द स्टॉक लेजर. मैं ऐसे एक फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड का लेजर बना रही हूँ. फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड एक्सपेंस डेबिट टू कॉस्ट लेजर कंट्रोल अकाउंट एक्चुअल एक्सपेंस. व्हाई टू कॉस्ट लेजर? बिकॉज फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड टू कैश बैंक मेरे पास नहीं है अगर नॉन इंटीग्रेटेड है. तो factory overhead debit to cost ledger. How much it is, dear students? 10 rupees. But overhead, factory overhead is absorbed in work in progress at predetermined rate, 0.8 per unit. Are you all with me? Predetermined rate होते हैं ना factory overhead के admin selling के. So this is a clear cut case of under absorption. ये format, ये mindset. Ma'am, you are in overhead chapter. You are going to integrate it. It's all a combo knowledge. This is little patience way of learning, but it works super well. I'm telling you, students, not only over the period, link up the topics, they link up the subjects also. फिर से एक बार, factory overhead actually incur हुआ है 10 rupees, but it is absorbed in the work in progress or transferred in work in progress 8 rupees. So there is under absorption. अब under absorption के abnormal reasons होते हैं, strike, labor court, obsolete हो गया, कुछ penalty charge हुई. So in 2 rupees, if they say 0.50 is abnormal, निकाल दो. How much it is now? 1.5. If under absorption is due to normal reason, sometimes it's carry forward. Ma'am, कैसे पता चला? Opening carry forward है, closing carry forward है, चलने दो. Sometimes if it is abnormal, charge it to costing P&L. But genuinely आपने बहुत कम charge किया है, तो say this 1.5, you have charged less. Can you absorb this by putting a supplementary overhead rate, that is under absorption divided by equivalent number of units? Ma'am, ये क्या है? ये सब आपको लग रहा है कि I am explaining you some formula. There is all logic. No formula. Keep patience. This is the booster notes. And when I go to the example, it will be clear. Now, say you have absorbed 1.5 less in work in progress. So from there finished goods में भी कम गया. तो finished goods का जो stock है वो भी तो उसमें भी factory overhead is less charge. Something is sold, in that also factory is less charge. Something is in stock, in that also it is less charge. Something is still in progress. You all know in cost sheet after the factory cost we get works cost, and here we have opening work in progress and closing work in progress. So there also it is less charged. Huh? Are you all with me? So work in progress maybe कम charge हुआ है. So can we charge more? Yes. Supplementary overhead rate is take number of units sold, take number of units in stock, and work in progress is say 8,000 units, but they are 60% complete. So how 8,000 units, yeah, but they are 60% complete. So can I say equivalent completed units is 4,800? So units sold, you will get the under overhead, charge it to cost of sales. Finished goods, charge it to finished goods. जो work in progress है, work in progress. समझ में आ रहा है? हाँ? Over absorption same. ज़्यादा charge किए. Here you have put 12. Here it is 10. 2. Either you can carry forward or you can charge in costing P&L or you can reverse. But problems are always asked for under absorption. So I'm going to my notebook. ये देखो. Factory overhead absorbed is 1 lakh. But actually what you have charged or paid is 150. But you have absorbed on predetermined rate 1 lakh. 50,000 is under absorption. 50,000 is under absorption. Out of 50,000, 20,000 and 5,000 is because of lockout या last year का अभी पे हुआ है. ये भी बहुत common example है. 5,000 is last year's factory overhead I have paid now, or 20,000 is I paid extra because of lockout. So ये 25,000 you remove. Now remaining 25,000. So remaining 25,000 I have charged less. Divide by equivalent units, 2.5 per unit. अब ये 10,000 units कैसे मिले? Closing stock 5,000 units. रुको closing stock. We have charged factory overhead less. लगाने दो. Work in progress 6,000 units, but it is only 50% complete. So equivalent is 3,000. Number of units sold is 2,000. Yes. So equivalent units आ गया, ये चार्ज कर दो. क्लोजिंग स्टॉक कहाँ चार्ज करोगे? फिनिश्ड गुड्स. वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस कहाँ चार्ज करोगे? वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस. गुड्स सोल्ड कहाँ है? कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल्स. The same point is there in the next revision lecture. I will explain again. Integrated costing. Reconciliations. हाँ, reconciliation में कुछ नया ही नहीं है, वही कॉस्ट शीट बनाना है, वही करना है. तो इट्स लाइक सो मच ऑफ इंटरलिंकिंग. इफ यू वांट यू कैन डू कॉस्ट शीट एंड इंटीग्रेटेड टुगेदर. चलो, वन मोर आई वांट टू सी. एक और करते हैं. ये देखो, एक्चुअल फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड इज 6 लाख. 45,000 is obsolete or some strike and all, nikal do. 525. But factory overhead is absorbed in work in progress based on 48,000 machinas into 10. How much is under absorption? 45,000. Again, they said out of 45,000, 1/3 was because of the faulty planning, 15,000. Now, charge to costing P&L only 30,000. 30,000 में supplementary rate लगाओ. So for supplementary rate, 18,000 units are sold. 20 are produced. So how much is in stock? 2,000. And work in progress is 8,000 units, 50% complete. So what is equivalent units? 24,000. What is the cost? 30,000. So 1.25 per unit. Are you all with me? 1.25 से हिसाब से फिनिश गुड्स में ऐड कर दो, वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस में ऐड कर दो, और जो सोल्ड आउट है वो कॉस्ट ऑफ सेल्स में ऐड कर दो. एंड अलोंग विद दिस कॉम्बोज का जमाना है. सो अंडर ओवर एब्जॉर्प्शन फ्रॉम ओवरहेड चैप्टर and journal entry in the integrated, they can ask you. Yes, they can ask you journal entries. Factory overhead 5,25,000. यहाँ से शुरू करो जो आपने इनकर किया है. But you have absorbed 480. Now whatever is the difference, 45,000. In that finished goods में add करो 2,500. Work in progress में 5,000. Cost of sales this. Costing P&L this. Done. मैम इतने सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए हैं. If you get exactly same question for 5 marks, 6 marks, 7 marks for under over absorption, do message. This has happened many times. I'm not boasting. I'm being teaching from PCC, IPCC. Only thing is this testimonials and marketing, and this was not the culture before few years. Now this is. So we are also here in YouTube. I'm talking very frankly, dear students, with all of you. So if you feel you have understood the concept of overhead chapter divided into 3 parts, can you allocate, apportion, reapportion, machine hour rate, हाँ, power is productive or not, repairs तो हमेशा unproductive रहता है, power और setup time can be productive, and the last is under overhead recovery को सबसे ज़्यादा emphasis दो. Watch this revision video whenever you are traveling. Put your headphones, listen to this, watch the screen, preferably watch it full screen, so that whatever booster notes I have given, they should all be clear to you. Very soon I'm coming up with the separate book for booster notes, so all formulas and everything should be clear to you one day before the exam. Right? Any more suggestions? These are suggestions of student. Ma'am, you teach well. We are following your Sarthi batch. Can you record some revision videos so that we can repeat it? I thought beyond Sarthi nothing is required. But then I realized, okay, once you finish costing with me, पूरा intensively practice किया over 18 दिन, 2-2 घंटे हो गया खत्म. अब एग्जाम के पहले तो कहीं तो फिर half an hour में रिवाइज तो करना होगा ना. Right. So what inputs you have for me? Tomorrow is Teachers Day. I just want inputs for you all, from you all, so that I can give best and help me in reaching out my mission of conceptual learning should reach across India. So do share it in your Telegram group. Do join our Telegram group. All this booster notes PDF I'm posting there. And you have any doubt from any material, CMA material, CA material, click the pictures, send it in Telegram. I'll clear it with voice note for sure. Thank you so much. That's all for today. Bye bye, all of you. See you all in the next revision lecture for non-integrated. Check the playlist if you have missed any lecture. You can revise. Thank you and bye bye.